Gwent, the Witcher card game.
Yeah.
Which you just had to say to me 2 times, so I'd remember it.
It's very descriptive, to be fair, as a subtitle. And Gwent just makes me think of the Welsh county.
I always think Gwent. Of that as well. So it is the card game from The Witcher.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, so the card game in The Witcher 3, which was really enjoyable. Obviously, single player. It was often part of the plot in The Witcher, and it was worked on by a very small team of people who were on The Witcher 3 sort of dev team. And I think it was one of these things where it was way more popular than they expected it to be, basically. Yeah. As a kind of, not a throwaway, but not something that they really focused on. Yeah, it was just a workable.
Because in the E3 announcement, they they said like fans were making their own physical decks and stuff.
Yeah.
So they have now done a standalone Gwent game, which you just told me has a fully voiced like single player kind of campaign as well.
I wasn't expecting that, because I mean, just for context, I don't know what was said in the reveal because we were in the air at the time, so I never saw it. But when we went to the presentation at CD Projekt's booth, it was really cool. They had a big physical version of the game outside the conference room where they did the demo, which was wooden and looked like it does in the game. Yeah. It's really cool. And then they showed us the redesigned version, and it is basically Gwent. It's basically the same game that's in The Witcher 3, but it's been expanded and kind of tweaked for, rebalanced, which takes into account the fact that you're going to be playing with other people. Yeah. And they had to do that because the thing about Gwent in the Witcher 3 game was that you were playing against AI, so it was really easy to kind of trick the AI into like winning a round early. So you could then, because the way it works for if people don't know is that you have a set number of cards. You win a round by putting cards on the deck that amount to more points than the other person, and then you have to pass the round. So for example, like if you get it's a bit,
I made a face at you then.
I know. So for example, you get 50 points on the table.
Okay.
And then you have to end your turn on the round.
Okay.
So then it's up to the other person to either accept that you've won the round or they
do better.
Yeah, or they can hammer cards in to do better. So it's kind of like a bit of a psychological game where you're trying to make the other person waste, because you've only got 10 cards.
So you want them to throw
game.
More cards in early, and then if you've got more cards left,
exactly,
to the end of the game. Okay.
What determines a win is usually how many people have got more cards by the second round. That's usually your strategy. So it's easy to trick AI into passing early, but it's not so easy to do that when you're playing with a flesh and blood human being that's got the same strategy as you do and is just as smart as you are, and probably more so. So I found it. I was playing with a guy sitting across from me, and I didn't beat him once. I had like 5 matches with him, and I thought, I'm quite good at Gwent. I can fucking do this. I can beat him. Nah, absolutely fucking destroyed. But it was cool. So as a multiplayer game, they've made Gwent work, because I never thought it would quite work.
Yeah.
Because it's the way you play it in Witcher 3 is, as I say, kind of gaming the AI. Eventually, you kind of get a feel for when the AI is going to jack in. Other people are so unpredictable that you can't legislate for how clever other people are going to be. So it works. It really works as a multiplayer game. You will get your ass kicked. So many people are going to go into the beta, which starts pretty soon on Xbox and PC. I think exactly as I did, feeling a bit cocky because like, I've got this. I've played like fucking 500 Gwent games and I've won most of them, and then getting their asses handed to them, which is, every transition from single player to multiplayer is the same, right? I think it's going to be free to play. There are going to be purchases or whatever, but it's not going to be pay to win. They assure us.
Well, but how are you, like, I know we're talking about this in a preview kind of way, but like, how are you going to do not pay to win, but also have in-game purchases in a game like that? They
did assure us that like you can buy like packs of cards, and one of them will definitely be a rare, but not necessarily a guaranteed kind of point number, like way above anything else. So
like buying booster packs for Magic the Gathering.
Yeah. So they've tried to, from what they've said, they're going to try and balance the purchases side, so it's more leans toward the rarity and the cosmetic rather than, you know, you can buy a pack that's going to kill everyone.
Okay. Are you going to sign up for the open beta then?
I have signed up.
There you go. Well, that's a very good recommendation, right?
Oh, I cannot wait. I fucking love Gwent. I think it's brilliant. And the single player side is amazing. Like, it's like a top-down Witcher game, except the battles are card battles. That's fine. That's perfect. It's fully voiced. It's got, like, you know, the cast from the games. It's got, like, you know, dialogue trees and all that kind of shit.
I love stuff like that. Is it? Because in a lot of these things, because it is like it's a fight, and it is, they pretend it's, you know, the games pretend it's an actual battle.
Yeah.
But you play it out with cards, or is it like someone will be like, let us play cards to determine who will, like, do they acknowledge
I think it's a mix of both. Because when one major part of The Witcher 3 is like half the characters, all the main characters you meet will have an option like to play Gwent with them. So then that's how you collect like more cards, is by winning them off the kind of main characters. So yeah, there'll be situations where like one character is like, have a mead and play some cards with me, or, you know, but yeah, generally if you're fighting a monster, it goes into a card battle. But that's all fine. That's fine by me.
It always made me laugh.
Yeah, no, totally. But I like, I like that they've done that as well. I like that there's, and they've said that there's plans to like introduce like more single player campaigns. There'll be like, you know, there'll be updates where there's kind of like more stories and stuff. So it's all good. I really enjoyed it. I like the tweaks they've made to it, but it still feels like the game you know from the other game, but just it's its own thing now. It's going to be allowed to flourish, I guess. But it's good.
Gwent. Jim likes it.
I do. If you enjoyed that and you fancy seeing more of our E3 previews, click on the left for our chat about Mafia 3, or click on the right for our chat about Zelda. And do remember to like, share and subscribe.